Hey gang, it is Azzas here. I wanted to go over my PvP Vigilance spec for my Guardian after patch 1.2. I've been playing around with a lot of Vigilance specs and I found one that I actually really like a lot. It's got really good damage and great utility as well. I've already went ahead and reset the talent points here. The defense tree is much more tanky, the focus tree is all about your big crits, but the vigilance tree has a lot of great utility and great survivability as well. So the spec I'm going to be talking about is a 32-7 spec, picking up 2 points in momentum, going all the way up the tree to get plasma brand in the vigilance tree, and picking up second wind as well. So here we go. You need 3 points into single saber mastery. It's a must-have, increases all melee damage by 6%. Ultimately we're trying to get Sheehan form, so you have to put points here. Go ahead and skip stagger and put 2 points into improved sundering strike. We're going to be spamming it all the time, so now sundering strike gives us 1 extra stack of sundering armor, which is very good. It's a must-have. Go ahead and take it. Second tier unlocks. We're going to take 2 points into perseverance, increases total strength by 6%. It's our main stat. It's a 100% must-have. We're also going to put 2 points into defiance. You're going to get 4 focus every time you're stunned, slept, or knocked down. This happens quite a bit in PvP, so this is going to regenerate a lot of focus for you. It's a must-have. Go ahead and take it. Now, the predicament I'm in is I need 1 more point to get to the next tier. I can put 1 point in accuracy or 1 point into stagger. Do not put any points into accuracy. It is a useless talent in PvP. It is a PvE talent. The reason I'm saying that it's useless is that your gear is going to give you plenty of accuracy. I'm at full Battle Master gear with 1 War Hero piece that I got an augmented piece to get, and I'm already at over 100% accuracy. As a matter of fact, I got the Greaves because I wanted to get rid of some of the accuracy. I was at 102%. So you do not need accuracy. You're going to get plenty with your PvP gear. Do not take any points here. Again, PvE talent. So go ahead and put the 1 point into stagger. Your force sleep normally immobilizes for 2 seconds. You're going to get an extra half a second on the immobilize, and we're actually going to come back to this a little bit later. Now the third tier unlocks. Take 1 point in Sheehan form. It's the stance we're going to be in 95% of the time. It's your DPS stance. It's a must-have. Take 2 points into unremitting. Every time you force sleep, you get unremitting, reducing all damage taken by 20% and giving you immunity to interrupts and controlling effects for 4 seconds. Force sleep is our signature move as a Guardian. Our leaping ability is key. You should be leaping around like a madman all the time anyways, and now you actually get damage reduction, can't be CC'd, it's a must-have. Do not take any points into Burning Blade. When you do your Blade Storm, it gives you a little extra burn damage. The damage is actually minimal, and there's better points to spend than the 2 points here. I do take 2 points into Gather Strength. Every time your movement's impaired, i.e. you're slowed, you get a 10% bonus to your next melee ability that costs focus, which is, of course, Overhead Slash and Plasma Brand. And it stacks up to 5 times and lasts for 10 seconds. This is a good ability. It's a passive hidden ability, and you don't always see it, but it adds up very nicely. Take it. It's definitely a must-have. And now the next tier unlocks, the 4th tier. I do not take any points into narrowed focus. Every time you get hit by an AoE, you get 1 extra focus. You actually have more than enough focus to do what you need to do in this spec, so you don't need this. So go ahead and skip this. Take the 3 points into the Vigilance talent. It reduces the cooldown of Overhead Slash by 6 seconds and Blade Storm by 3 seconds. It's a must-have. Take it. Also take 1 point into Affluence. Force Sweep no longer costs focus. This is going to help us manage our focus very nicely. That has 4 free focus for all intent and purposes. Again, I need 1 more point to get to the next tier. Well, don't want to put any points here. Don't want to put any points in a Burning Blade because you don't need it, and accuracy is useless. Put the 2nd point into Stagger. At this point, the next tier unlocks. The idea behind this is that your force sleep normally immobilizes for 2 seconds, and now it goes up to 3 seconds. When you force sleep in, that's just enough time to get a full Master Strike off. So it's very useful in PvP and very worthwhile. And on a side note, when someone's resolve bar is locked, meaning that you cannot CC them, the immobilize still works. So slows and immobilize are not affected by the resolve bar. So definitely take this. This is very useful. The next tier unlocks. Go ahead and take Overhead Slash. hard hitting ability. We should be using it every time it's off cooldown. And then from there, take 2 points into Force Rush. When you do Overhead Slash and Plasma Brand, you get 100% chance to up the crit of your Blade Storm and Dispatch by 60% for 9 seconds. With your gear, you should be sitting right around 30% crit anyways. This bumps up to 90%. This is very good and very useful. Take the 2 points. Also take 2 points into Burning Purpose. When you do your Overhead Slash, you get a 100% chance to set the target ablaze for 421 elemental damage for 6 seconds. You're going to be spamming this move anyways. Why not get the extra elemental damage with it? It's a dot, and elemental damage is not mitigated by armor, so it's going to make your Overhead Slashes hit just a little bit harder. I did run without this for a while, and let me tell you, it was a noticeable difference in damage. So take the 2 points, they're very useful. The next tier unlocks, but at this point, don't worry about that. Take the 2 points into Commanding All. It reduces all damage by 4% all the time, and when you pop Focus Defense, you get an extra 15% reduction in damage. That's almost 20% reduction in damage, which is outstanding. And then, the icing on the cake, All's cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds. So All is now on a 45-second cooldown. All is a very powerful CC. It's an incapacitate, but it's also an AoE incapacitate. So if somebody hits a target, it will knock them out of it. This is very good. You should be abusing your All every time it's up, looking for opportunities to use it. It's a very powerful CC. Take the 2 points here, you won't regret it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take all 3 points into Zen Strike. Overhead Slash and Plasma Brand give me a 30% chance to finish the cooldown Master Strike, which is great, and it generates 2 focus when it procs. By putting all 3 points in it, this can happen once every 9 seconds. Your Plasma Brand and your Overhead Slash, when you talon into them, are also on 9-second cooldowns. This fits very nicely into your rotation. So take the points here, they're very worthwhile. Now the top tier unlocks, take Plasma Brand. Very hard hitting ability, puts an elemental, hits them with elemental damage, then puts an elemental dot on them. Very good, very useful, gotta have that. Do not take any points right now in Sundering Throw. We're actually going to come back to that. So at that point, there's your 31 points in the Vigilance tree. So let's go over here to the Defense tree. Take 2 points into Momentum. Very good skill. When you Force Sleep, you get a 100% chance to make your next Blade Storm activate free with no focus cost. This is very, very good, and it helps us to manage our focus. So take the 2 points there. It's a must-have. I do not take any more points in the Defense tree. Dust Storm is a really good ability. When you Force Sweep, you get a 100% chance to lower the accuracy of your targets by 5%. But it takes 3 points to get this, and this is a little more tanky protection oriented. So do not take it. Now, a lot of people take 2 points into Victory Rush. When you do your Sundering Strike every 5 seconds, you should be when it comes off cooldown, you get 1 extra focus for free, which is really nice. I see a lot of people taking this, but actually you don't need it. Once you run without it, you'll see that you have plenty of focus to do whatever you need to do. So do not take the 2 points here. And even in the second tier of Defense tree, these are both tank stance oriented, which you won't be using, and getting the cooldown lowered on Freezing Force is nice, but you really should not need that if you're managing your focus correctly. So just take the 2 points here in Momentum, and that's all you're going to put in the Defense tree. Now we've got 8 points left, so let's head over here to the Focus tree. In the Focus tree, I do take 2 points into Master Focus. It takes Master Strike's cooldown from 30 seconds to 27 seconds, and it increases the damage by 8%. Master Strike got a nice buff in damage. It hits like a truck. You should be looking for every chance you get to do a Master Strike. It's a 3-second channel. The first 2 hits happen rather quickly. The third one doesn't happen till the end. It hits very hard. The extra damage is definitely welcome. The Master Strike should be hitting for about 1200 a pop on the first 2. The third one should usually hit for about 2000 to 2400. I have seen that hit as high as 4500 and the upper 3000s consistently. So a Master Strike is definitely good to use. Excellent points to spend. I do not put any points into the Insight. I put 2 points into Swelling Winds. From here, your Force Sweep damage and your Cyclone Slash damage increase by 20%, and it lowers the cooldown of Force Sweep by 3 seconds. Now, seeing that Force Sweep is now free, the extra damage and lower cooldown is very welcome. Take the 2 points there. It's very useful. To get to the next tier, I gotta take 1 point into Insight. Increases your Force crit chance by 2%. I do not put 3 points in here to get the 6% increased Force crit chance. Your Force moves are Blade Storm, which with this these talents is already modified up to 90% crit anyways. Your Force Sweep is your Force is also a Force move. Your Force Stasis and some of your dots as well. I really don't think it's worthwhile putting it in here. You've already got 30% crit. There's really no need for that. So just take the 1 point in to get to the next tier. At this point, Second Wind unlocks. Definitely take it. Every time you use your Resolute or your Trinket, you get 10% of your maximum health back. Now, I'm sitting at 15,900 health, so every time I use it, I'm going to get 1,590 hit points back, which is really nice. And I'm going to show you a way that you can abuse this ability just a little bit too. So put the 2 points there, and now we have 1 point left over. Well, these two abilities use Shicho Form, which isn't helpful to us. You could put it here in a Swift Slash, getting your slash crit up by 7.5%. I'm going to recommend you put the 1 point right here into Sundering Throw. The idea behind this is that it lowers the cooldown of Sundering Saber Throw by 2.5 seconds, but more importantly, it puts 1 stack of Sundering Armor on the target. So your ideal rotation is a Sundering Throw, you get 3 focus, you leap in, you get another 3 focus, from there they're rooted, you do your full Master Strike. If for some reason you move during the Master Strike, the enemy trinkets out, they immobilize, it just doesn't work out. With the Saber Throw, you can already go right into a Plasma Brand and start your rotation from there, which is really nice. So the point here is very useful. Take it right here, you'll definitely be thankful that you did. Now there is our spec, our 232-7 spec. Alright, very good spec. Your rotation should be Saber Throw, Force Sleep, into a full Master Strike. From there, Plasma Brand, Overhead Slash, Blade Storm, and then into a Force Sweep, and kind of rinse and repeat. You can add a Freezing Force in between there if the enemy starts to get away from you as needed, but it works out very, very well. It puts out some serious pressure, and just with Unremitting after you Force Sleep not being CC for 4 seconds is very good. Plus you get the 10% heal on yourself, which is nice too. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and commit these points. Okay, points committed. Let me move my bar around like it's supposed to be. Where's Plasma Brand? Okay, so there's my bar. Now the whole reason for taking this spec is to pick up the Second Wind talent. The Second Wind talent heals you for 10%. So you can see 15,907. That's a 1,590 heal. As a Guardian, you have this ability in which increases your maximum health by 30% for 10 seconds. And I'm also Biochem too, so my Rakata Med Pack gives me an extra 15% maximum health. Watch what happens when you pop both of these together. I pop this, I pop that. My maximum health is now at 22,990, 23,000 for all intent purposes. So therefore, if I go ahead and pop my Resolute, it's going to heal me for 2,300. This has saved my butt multiple times. It is very useful in PvP and very practical as well. So, also on a side note, if you are Biochem, you should be running with the Fortitude Stim. You can even pop that to get the extra 112 endurance. That will even modify the Trinket heal even more, which is also very useful as well. Alright, so there's the spec. If you've not tried this spec, try it. It's a really good spec. I like it a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and there'll be more videos to come soon utilizing this spec along with some PvP tactics and tips with the Guardian class. So thanks a lot. Take care.